Hi.
Happy Halloween! Do I have a special Halloween video planned? No, not really. I probably should have thought of one. Anyways, today we'll be reviewing the Bandai Aggregate Destroyah from, well, Godzilla vs. Destroyah. Because, can you name another movie that Destroyah's in? I doubt it. So we'll just start right off with like the sculpt and paint and detail and all that stuff. And I think you can tell pretty clearly, the detail on him is fantastic. Like, just look at his face. There's a lot of, like, nice little grooves and everything there. My camera only wants to focus if it's a little further back, so that's why he's not, like, up there, and because the camera will fall and expose my shitty lighting setup. But it's very nicely detailed, as you can see. We got some sort of metallic-ish light red paint around, like, the first 2/3 of his head, and then the lower bit is all silver, and we got some yellow for the eyes, which looks pretty cool. The paint, I'd say, isn't really up to par with the sculpt. The sculpt is very good, but the paint is fine. It's not bad, but it could be better. You can see like his weird pincery mouth with the smaller mouth inside there. I wonder where they got that idea. His neck is all slice-y, like there's different slices, different slabs of neck in there, which looks really cool. And we got, like, again, we got more of that metallic red kind of going down it. We got some yellow, for some reason, around his tummy slash pee-pee area, which is interesting. And it kind of spreads around a little bit too, like it kind of goes farther than I think it's supposed to. So, yeah. And as you can see, the claws right here are a nice sort of almost purplish, like sort of a dark purple mixed between purple and red color. And same with all of these feet, not the other smaller feet, but the separate piece feet that they put inside of him instead of sculpting it on there. I've got a hair on my hand. And I like the color a lot. I'm not entirely sure it's accurate, but it is a nice color, I will say. And we can see they're very detailed as well. Like, they look like, crab legs and stuff. Same with the claws. They kind of remind me of Ibra's claws, actually, but, purpley. You can even see, like, sort of the underside of them, if my camera wants to focus, looks a little more fleshy than, the hard shell bit. Very cool. I like that a lot. The arm tentacle thingies, they get very spiky at the shoulder area, but then get progressively less and less spiky as it goes on. Very nice. Could have used maybe a little bit of paint, but whatever. And you can see the back of the figure definitely lacks a lot of paint. Like, there's really not much. But the detail, again, is really good. We've got, like 3 rows of spikiness on the back of his neck. His neck is very slabby again. We got the spikes go all the way to the top of the head, and it seems like the head is a slightly different color than the neck. That might just be because this figure is like, will be 30 years old next year, so it could just be bad aging. But one thing I don't think is, I think it's just from cheap production, was this part of the tail, which is a separate piece. It's a different material. Like, I don't think it's vinyl. It's like sort of an almost rubbery, plasticish feel, and it's quite a different color from like the rest of the figure, and it's very obvious. So I'm not a big fan of that. I guess if they had made it vinyl, it probably would have been fairly easy for it to break. This feels like it's not going to break. It's sort of bendy-ish, so that's nice. So maybe it was for the best, but still, it doesn't really match the figure very well. We can see it gets sort of fleshy around the shoulder area, which is kind of interesting. It's like all blobby and everything. Like, it looks kind of different from like any other part of the figure. I kind of like that. It's the same on the other side. I don't know, just a weird, interesting thing. It's like his shoulders aren't fully developed yet or something. I don't know. It looks almost crystal-ish here. See what I mean? I don't know. That could just be me. The underside is also pretty detailed. We've got a lot of legs. I think he has either 22 or 24, because I kind of lost count. There's kind of a lot of legs. And that includes these ones, the purpley ones that we looked at earlier. And I think these back here are actually going to become wings, but aren't quite there yet. So yeah, the detail on him is spectacular, but the paint could maybe be a little better. It's not bad, again, but it's not, phenomenal like the detail is. But how's the articulation? Well, he's got quite a lot of it, actually. His head can rotate. The neck can do a little wiggle. Can it, like, rotate all around? It doesn't feel like it. I don't really want to push it. The tentacly arm thingies can do a full 360. Very nice. The claws can do a little bit of movement. Like, they can do it 360, but it's a little difficult with the legs. I actually wouldn't recommend doing that. The legs can as well. These ones, again, harder because the arms are in the way, but these ones can go all the way around, no problem, except when they smack this, but, just don't have them do that. I must rotate them all. There we go. And then the tail, right there. The, discolored tail. So that's 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 points of articulation on a Bandai vinyl. Wow, that's crazy. So I guess we should go into size comparison. I actually have basically the whole line right here. So I guess here he is compared to, Daddy Destroyah right there. But, I don't think they were ever really side by side because this is him but smaller. So here we have Burning Godzilla, but I know that the Aggregate Destroyahs that he did fight were way smaller and were like on top of him like this, and, crawling all over him. This one is a little too big. But then we have Godzilla Jr., which he fought one of these. Godzilla Jr. fought one of these, not he fought one of these Godzilla Juniors. What? Okay. But the size is pretty... Hang on, I hear it smell. The size is pretty accurate. They were around the same height, but, Destroyah is very wide and stuff. And even though they're on the same height, Junior feels kind of smaller. So that's pretty cool. I'm thinking I might sell this figure because I kind of don't like it very much, and mine's very scuffed up. So get out of here. Overall, I think this figure is fantastic. The paint is maybe not incredible, but the sculpt is. There's a ton of articulation. It's just very good. This figure is aged very nicely, especially when you compare it to a lot of modern Bandai figures where they just are like, paint? What the hell is that? The paint on a lot of the newer Bandai figures make the paint on this guy look like an X+. So this guy can go for kind of a bit. I got him in a giant lot on Bai from like the Yahoo auctions. I got him with like a whole bunch of stuff. He came with a Grand King Ghidorah, Cretaceous Ghidorah. What else? There was a bunch of Ultraman figures in there. You can see that Ella King that came with that box. Don't fall, don't fall, don't fall. Okay, ooh, nice save. And that Ghidorah vinyl bank right there. Oh, and that guy. Zoom. Him. He was in there too. And overall, I think I paid like, with shipping, it was like $200, but, there was a bunch of awesome stuff in there that I think was, like, overall would have been worth more than $200. But I've seen this guy go for actually, like, cheaper than I expected on, like, Japanese sites. Like, I've seen him go for, like, around, like, $30, $35 before, which is news to me because, like, I remember when I was way younger looking for this figure and him being, like, up in, like, the $90 to $100 range, so that's kind of cool. So I definitely recommend getting him off of a Japanese site because, eBay kind of sucks with Godzilla figures, if we're being honest. I think the only other thing I have to say about this figure is that he has 22 or 24 legs and I only have 2, yet I can walk just fine. So get out evolution, bitch.